When do you feel the most like the version of you always wanted to be? What is a fear you hope to outgrow? Have I ever given someone a death stare like while driving and then I instantly feel awkward after? How would you show up differently if you knew deep down you were already enough? If your future self could hug you right now, what would she whisper into your soul? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Brianna, and today I am doing another driving vlog, which I know you guys absolutely love these. Right now I'm actually driving to my internship like in person, so it's gonna be a 40-minute drive, you guys. We're doing a driving Q&A specifically, so yeah, thank you so much to this person right here for requesting this video. I'm pretty sure they were the original one who requested it, but I got a bunch of questions, so yeah, I'm super excited. I'm going to try to make this video as raw and real as possible for you guys. First question is, what version of yourself are you quietly building for next year that no one knows about yet? Which is such an interesting question. I feel like there's a lot that I'm building towards that maybe not everyone knows about, but I would say like for next year I would be basically like in my medical school journey, or I'm already in the journey towards medical school, but I'm going into my sophomore year of college right now. It's kind of like in the early process of looking into med schools and looking into my journey, because I do want to go into medicine. I feel like some of you guys probably know that already, but I am planning on like working towards that goal and preparing applications and stuff like that. So that's what I'm working on, and next year I hope that I'd be well into that and have like a better idea of what I'm doing. So I think that is my answer for that question. That is just like a big goal of mine, to get into medical school and to fulfill my journey that way. Another question is, when do you feel the most like the version of you always wanted to be? That's a good question. I feel like a lot of these questions are super self-reflective, but I would say I feel like the best version of myself whenever I'm the most productive and whenever I know that I'm doing things for good reason. And I'm like, obviously it's so important for you to take breaks and to rest whenever you need it and you feel like you are burnt out and can't go on anymore. And sometimes it's probably not healthy to wait until that point, but I often find myself waiting until that point, so I am working on that. But I would say definitely when I'm doing things that I genuinely like to do and that I know are going to benefit me in some way or another. And that could be like even my favorite hobbies, like playing the piano, playing tennis, or just like doing YouTube like this. It brings me joy, but most importantly, like studying for that test and knowing that I should be doing that. And I feel like in a way, yes, like it's so annoying to have to study for a test, but it's also like reassuring, and it lets you know that you're going to be okay, you know, like everything's gonna be okay. Next question is, what is a fear you hope to outgrow, not because it's weak, but because you're ready to finally release it? That is another really cool question. I feel like this one could take a while to outgrow, but I definitely have a fear of failure. Obviously I probably don't think about it all the time, but there is always like this part of me that worries, like what if I'm not doing enough? And you really can't tell until you achieve your goals or like have some sort of result from what you're working towards. But I would say definitely like fear of failure. I definitely want to just learn to let looser than I usually do. I don't want to feel like I'm always one step behind and that I can always do better. I just want to give myself the benefit of the doubt, you know, and just know that not everything is under my control. Like I can always try my best to accomplish certain things, but it's not always going to work out the way I want to. Like for example, the other day I was rejected from something, and like I always tell myself rejection is redirection, and it really is, because I just found out a better opportunity that I hope I can get. I don't know if it's going to be possible, but I'm definitely going to try. Now some of these are kind of like related to driving, which is kind of cute. I love these. What tiny driving habit by others triggers your inner villain instantly? Okay, so I guess like that's another way of asking, what do you hate? What do you not like that other drivers sometimes do? Okay, honestly guys, I get super annoyed whenever there's like a super slow driver in front of me. Like, I understand it could be someone who's like elderly, but I feel like when I have somewhere to go and you're going like 10 miles under the speed limit, that is not something that I like. I mean, it's totally fine if it's like on a random day and I'm just going to the store for something, but if it's like I'm on my way to somewhere and I'm trying to get there in a timely manner and you're behind like this huge truck that's like obviously going slower than usual, it's kind of annoying. Also, like in the left lane of highways, if there's a huge truck like the one next to me right now and they're going like slow in the left lane just because of their ego or something, I cannot stand that. So if you're a truck driver, I really respect you, but please, like, if you don't drive the speed limit or drive faster in the left lane, please just move over to the right lane or at least the middle lane, you know? Like, the left lane is for passing. Okay, one question is, have I ever given someone a death stare like while driving and then I instantly feel awkward after? I can't recall a specific time that I've done that, honestly. Like, I'm a pretty laid back driver. I don't try to get too road ragey or anything, but sometimes people really get me annoyed. But I feel like one time someone definitely cut me off or something like that, and I gave them the death stare and I was like, how dare you? And then they just like glanced at me, and as soon as someone, like, whenever someone looks at me from their car, it's just so weird. I don't know if anyone else experiences that, but I just instantly feel so awkward. I'm like, oh my god, I don't even know you and you're looking at me. Like, okay, I could just be rambling on at this point, but does anyone else ever just view cars as cars and don't actually think about who's driving them? Like, sometimes I just forget that there's a person behind the wheel and it's not just like a robotic car that's driving, if you know what I mean. But maybe that's just me, I'm not really sure. There are literally so many traffic lights, you guys. Like, it is a straight shot, I'm not even kidding. There's 19 miles ahead of me, just a straight line. And it's not even like a huge highway, it's just, I don't know, it's not that bad. Okay, another question is your horn your best friend or do you avoid it like it's cursed? That's another funny question. I honestly, okay, this is so... Okay, if you guys don't know me, I started driving like, I don't know, 4 years ago, but I haven't driven on like major highways or anything just because my parents aren't comfortable with me doing that. I just turned 19, so I guess maybe like 3 or 4 years of driving so far. And honestly, in those many years, I probably honked my horn like maybe 5 times in total. So yeah, I really sometimes forget to honk my horn. Like, even when someone cuts me off at like a left turn, you know, at like a light or something like that, I just don't honk my horn. Sometimes I'm about to honk it, but then I don't press it hard enough, so I don't actually honk it. It's so bad. Even one time I remember my parents were in the car with me and they were like, why don't just honk your horn? Like, that person was definitely in the wrong, but I still just didn't, so yeah, I kind of avoid it like it's cursed, to be honest. Alright guys, so I am back. Well, you probably don't even notice the difference, but I basically got to my destination because I didn't want to do too much filming at one time because that would have been a lot. But I am ready to continue. So let's go ahead and continue with the questions. I'm sorry that you probably hear the air conditioning, but it is so hot, you guys. There's literally a heat advisory warning or something. If you could rebuild your self-esteem like a home, what would you decorate the walls with? That is a very interesting question. Oh my gosh. So I don't know if I'm like thinking about this question correctly, but to me that sounds like if you can make your self-esteem better by like decorating your house a certain way, how would you decorate it? That is so interesting. I would probably make the walls, well, I don't want to make it tacky because I would hate to live in like a tacky home, but I feel like if you could paint like one room just to make your self-esteem better, I feel like painting it like a bright color, a happy color, is really smart to do. So I mean, I would probably paint the walls like a bright pink. I mean, my room is painted bright pink, so yeah, and it makes me really happy. Or just to make sure you have like a bulletin board of like pictures of friends and family and my dog, of course. I feel like that would be really good to have. Just like all the things that make you happy. Maybe something about YouTube on it. It really depends, but that is a really interesting question. I would also probably make sure to have like a piano or something because I love to play piano, of course. Wow, there's a Dairy Queen over here. I've never seen that before. That's cool. What's one small thing you did lately that your past self would be proud of? Oh my gosh, that's cool. I guess probably it has something to do with like my future aspirations, working towards my goal of getting into medical school. I was looking into like different labs and professors to join just for like clinical experience. I feel like my past self would be proud of me for taking that step forward. And also just like doing my internship. I just got back from, or I'm driving back from like a bunch of work that I just finished doing with my internship. We're like doing a mail campaign, so I feel like that's a pretty big thing, and my past self would be proud of me for doing that. I forget what the question was, but I guess also for getting into Princeton, like my past self would be over the moon about that, for sure. Because it's been like a lifelong dream so far. So I feel like a lot of things I've done, my past self would be happy about, which is really great. If your heart had a diary, what would its last entry say about how far you've come? Oh my god, these questions are so endearing. It's like accomplishments, and I feel like it's good to talk about this because it probably makes me feel better, and hopefully it inspires you guys to like think about what you've done and how far you've come as well. So I feel like this video is kind of like a reflection drive with me almost. Yeah, I feel like its last entry about how far I've come, it would definitely have to say something about like the dedication that I've put into school, especially. I feel like people all my life have called me a really hard worker and dedicated to what I do, and honestly a lot of that comes from my parents always pushing me to do my best. And I feel like, yeah, it definitely has something to do with like every single year of school has led up to me getting into Princeton, and now being in Princeton, I'm still pushing forward and trying to get to my next goal, which is now going to be medical school. And I feel like I'm just always looking for ways to take that next step and achieve the next thing, no matter how big or small it is. So next question is, what's a beautiful part of your personality that anxiety tries to blur but you're reclaiming anyway? Huh. Guys, I never really think about myself this much like this. A beautiful part of my personality is probably like, I guess just like, I mean there's a lot of times in public when I probably am not as outgoing as I want to be, and people probably just assume that I'm more introverted, but in reality I am quite the extrovert, especially at home with my family or around my friends. I feel like for sure I do not have a problem just saying whatever comes to mind, and a lot of times I don't think before I speak, but I feel like in more public settings I'm definitely a person to think before I speak. So maybe just becoming more outgoing is something that I want to do. Oh, I'm like between two trucks. I feel like that's definitely something that I'm working on, and I feel like it takes a while, but also I want to be kind of shielded. Like I want to shield part of myself from people. I don't want to be like crazy and I don't know, what's the word? Like obnoxious, that's the word, obnoxious. I don't want to be obnoxious, but I feel like I am never really obnoxious. How would you show up differently if you knew deep down you were already enough? Huh. I mean, I feel like it's good to always tell yourself that you're enough, and I know it's probably just part of human nature to always feel like you could be doing something better, especially at Princeton. I feel like for any of you who are wondering what it's like there, I feel like a lot of people never think they're enough and that they could always be doing something more just because of how competitive it is there. So, I mean, I feel like if I knew that I was enough in that, which I know I can always be doing something more, so I know that's not true, but if I genuinely felt like I've done enough in my life and I don't want to do anything else, I almost feel like it would feel like retirement. I don't know, what do you guys think? It would just feel like, okay, I've done what I need to do in life, and now I feel like I can just relax. It would just feel almost like a huge sense of relief, maybe. something like that. Okay, next question is, if your future self could hug you right now, what would she whisper into your soul? That's another really theoretical question. I would say she'd probably just tell me, like, everything is gonna work out in the end, no matter where she is and like what stage of her life she's in. She'd probably say something like that, like, don't worry too much about your future, like, just have fun, live in the moment, always remember to, like, remember how far you've come and keep your passion and motivation to keep going. Probably something like that. This is gonna be like kind of switching gears a little bit, I feel like. But this next question is, what does your most peaceful day in the future feel like? And what quiet things are you doing in it? Well, I mean, once I'm like in medical school, I probably will not have much of a peaceful day. But I would say, like, later on in life, once I have an established life, I guess, a peaceful day, like on the weekends, maybe would just look like, I don't know. Honestly, I feel like I'm the type of person who's always on the go and always wants to do things, so I don't really make time for myself to relax unless it's like scrolling on YouTube at the end of the day. But just like a peaceful day, maybe just out by the beach, where I could have time to like go into the water if I want to, because I love to swim, you guys. And then also just like lay there and hear the sound of the waves and whatnot, and not have to worry about like if my vacation is ending soon or anything like that. But that's obviously like a vacation. That couldn't be like an actual day, but just like a typical day. I don't know, like a day with music. I really like listening to music, and just, even if it's like just cleaning up around the house, just having my music there to listen to, keep me motivated and hyped. I feel like that's really nice. All right, next question is, what are you learning to let go of? Not because it was wrong, but because you're outgrowing it. I feel like every question I have to take time to think about. Learning to let go of just because I'm outgrowing it. I guess probably some like childish thing, like childhood thing that I've done in the past. I feel like since I've been talking so much about my future, I can't think of anything else. Like, it's hard for me to think of anything else, but like not worrying about anything else in the world. Because I feel like as children, it's so easy to just be like, oh, I'm just living in my own little bubble. I don't really worry about what else is happening out there in the world. But now as I'm an adult, I'm now 19 years old, guys. I think I already mentioned that. But I have to learn to care about things that are happening in the world, because they can really affect me. And I feel like I don't know, I feel like not a lot of people talk about it, but it's kind of hard to switch from never really caring about any of that stuff to now trying to educate yourself and be informed so you can like make the right decisions when voting and whatnot. So yeah, I think there's definitely more of a responsibility once you are out of high school and are trying to navigate adulthood or early adulthood. So yeah, this drive with me session is so raw and real right now. But I'm just chilling, you guys, just chilling. I've got 26 more minutes. I'm probably not going to film all of it because I do want to listen to my music in the car, of course. But I feel like I've gotten through quite a few questions, and not many of you guys actually left questions, so this is mainly all from like 1 or 2 people. But yeah, I will just take what I can get. I know you guys like my driving vlogs, so that's why I wanted to film this. And then I'll definitely do like a playlist video too in the future. Next one is, what does safe look and feel like in the life you're trying to create? So it has safe with quotations. To me, safe probably, I mean, safety, I feel like it could be taken very literally, but then also just like security, like a plan of action that you want to take and that you know you're going to want to try to take. So I feel like in that sense, safe is like living in the right area and making sure you're not surrounding yourself by people, even like your close friends, like just the people you are around every day. You want to make sure you're not like surrounding yourself with bad people who don't have good intentions for you. And also just like the area that you live in as well. I feel like that is so important, to live in a good area, because good people come with good areas, you know? And then also just like for the safe or security aspect of it, I feel like just making sure you know what you're working towards and you feel like it can be achieved. I feel like in a way that gives you a sense of like security. Hopefully this video is long enough for you guys, because I know a bunch of you were saying like the driving vlogs need to be longer, so that's what I'm trying to do. But I don't know, once I edit this a little bit, I don't know how long it's gonna be. Hopefully it's at least like 20 minutes. Alright guys, so I am back home and that brings me to the end of this video. Hope you guys enjoyed another driving video, and I'll definitely do more longer ones later. But thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please make sure to give it a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!